What's the haps, folks? Joe Of All Vapes coming at you once again in the Vape Cave, as if there was anywhere else to do this, you know what I'm saying? So tonight we're going to be talking about some Virginia Vape Co. Now, been in touch with this company for quite some time. The brand new stuff is actually these fatty little 60 milliliter bottles, not so little, you know what I mean? And this is a 75-25 blend, so this is pretty new to them as far as the blend is concerned. You got Goldfinger as the flavor right here, and that is just straight up banana. Not giving anything away by telling the flavors because we're going to pick them apart. You know how I do it. Freestone is the next flavor, and this one is just straight up delicious sweet peach, folks. So simple flavors here, but you know, there's nothing wrong with that. We'll get a little bit more into the nitty gritty. Cash Crop is the last flavor, and that is just a straight up solid and smooth tobacco blend. So on top of the fatty 60 milliliter bottles, we've got everything in the same flavors in their smaller 30 milliliter 50-50 blends. Now, the 50-50 blends are sort of going out of tradition, you know what I mean? I mean, in the high VG cloud chasing community that we're living in nowadays, you don't see a whole heck of a lot of 50-50 left, but every now and then some of the OG vapors like their 50-50, you know what I mean? I can't, honestly, I can't tell you the last time I vaped a 50-50 other than reviewing this stuff, to be perfectly honest with you. But here's what I can tell you. The difference between the 50-50 and their 75-25 is strictly the size of the bottle, the label, and the amount of cloud production. I mean, that's really all there is to it. Really good taste, solid flavor, amazing cloud production, and this one gives you the opportunity whether or not you want to drip it, boom, or you want to tank it. Now this one is the Goldfinger, the straight up banana flavor, and we're going to get into that right now. So what I liked about this stuff is that it's not overly sweet. You get that strong essence of banana, but it doesn't taste like a taffy. A lot of the time the banana vapes kind of taste like a sweet taffy to me, you know what I mean? So you open up the bottle, you can definitely get the sense of a good banana, but it is very natural smelling and it is very natural tasting. Solid drip on this stuff, and I'm going to do it right in front of the camera on you on this one. So just to show that Joe Of All Vapes does not slouch on the literals, you know what I mean? I don't have anybody that does the editing for me on this one. Yeah, sometimes the celebrity cooks got somebody on the side that cook all their food for them, and then they come back from the commercial break and it looks just fabulous. Well, I do all my own stunts. What I'm getting is a sweet banana, but you know how just a ripe, fresh banana kind of has that subtle, creamy, sort of midline base taste to it, not overly sweet like any other fruit there is to it. One of the most natural tasting banana e-juices I have tried probably as yet. Wonderful blend, solid consistency. What I love about the Goldfinger Virginia Vape Co. is that they took the best essence of banana, stuck it right in a high VG vape, and that is another thing to kind of contrast on from their 50-50 blend here, is that the high VG vapes typically don't have the greatest flavor potency because VG is not the best flavor carrier. Typically, PG is. So to come across with a high VG blend that still has a decent amount of flavor to it, you know, I mean, that's a little bit of a challenge. So that's where it gets a little bit more into the e-juice crafting. So the Freestone is the next flavor that I tried. This stuff is a peach that Georgia would be proud to call their own, but obviously this stuff comes out of Virginia. So the smell alone is very straight up. What I like about nice, fresh, ripe peaches, you pick it off the tree limb and it just has that nice, sweet, ripe smell to it if it's really ripe. And, you know, this stuff is right on par with that. I think Virginia Vape Co. really nailed it with this one. Very sweet with just that undertone, kind of a tart nature that comes from the peach skin. Believe it or not, that stuff is in here. So I'd like to find out where it is exactly that they get their flavor extracts, but it's top quality stuff. This stuff is really, really solid. And of course, as you guys have seen, clouds for days on this. 75-25 is a blend that isn't used very commonly. It definitely does add for massive cloud production, but the flavor is definitely something. So what that says too is that the ratio of about 25% PG is just perfect. I honestly wouldn't go anything below 20%, because then it starts really getting into you know, sweeteners and, you know, to steep to not steep. There is some amazingly good 80/20 VG to PG juice, but the blend has to be very craft. It has to be pretty darn solid. So I'm giving them some major kudos for coming out with a solid e-juice, singular flavors that still have the essence of the actual fruit. The dude definitely abides on this one. So that brings us to our third flavor, Cash Crop. Now the Cash Crop, got a little bit of it in my my cloud chucker here. Okay, clouds for days. Let's not forget the clouds for days. But the good thing about the Cash Crop is that it is not overly bitter. And a lot of tobacco vapes, I find, can sometimes be just a little bit bitter. But that's not the case with the Cash Crop. So Cash Crop, you know, I like it. It's kind of playing onto you know, just that first initial crop that really got the United States of America moving. There's a reason they call it the cash crop. But this stuff is nice and smooth. A little bit of an underlying bitterness that is very typical with a solid and clean tasting tobacco, believe it or not. It's raw in its nature. It's actually has a little bit of a sweetness to it. The bouquet is very floral, so it's a solid flavor, but it is not overbearing. It still has, like I said, that sweetness to it. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drip a little bit of this stuff on top of the banana, because I did actually mix these up. I find that the Cash Crop blends really well with the banana. I tried it with the peach, and it was a little bit of a unique blend for me. So a very rounded out, robust flavor to it. This is a tobacco blend that I think you could actually mix with a lot of other different flavors of e-juice, and mixing it up with their Goldfinger, their banana flavor. You can even try it with the Freestone if you want. You wanted to give it a little bit of a peach essence to it, but try it offhand, because a lot of people that are getting off of the cigarettes are looking towards things that are familiar to them. They have their likes, they have their dislikes. You know, typically they go for some of the deeper flavors, because a lot of the time tobacco smokers, over time, their taste buds just kind of fry, you know what I mean? So they want something that's either really super sweet or really, really deep and rich, so they can get the flavor working again. Well, luckily vaping has a moisture effect to it, where cigarettes definitely do not. Consistency and profile is back to back on this stuff, okay? 75/25, obviously, you're gonna get the 5 on the throat hit. Now the sweet factor, I'm going to do something kind of unprecedented for a tobacco vape. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 on the sweet factor, simply because the profile and consistency is so spot on this stuff. It really does taste very natural, very smooth for a solid tobacco vape. Virginia Vape Co. definitely has their game down with that. The peach one definitely gets the exact same rating. Very solid, very sweet, very smooth. And of course, the Goldfinger, the solid singular banana. Man, who doesn't like a good banana vape? You know what I mean? You didn't see me vaping on any of the 50/50, and the reason is because the flavor is pretty much identical. Now, because the 50/50 has a higher PG content, one could say that the flavor is a little bit more concentrated, but unless you try it, you're not going to know any better. So take my word for it, guys. The difference between the 50/50 and the 75/25 of the Virginia Vape Co., no difference in flavor, okay? The only thing you're going to notice is cloud production. That is just a little bit different, but each to their own, you know what I'm saying? So Virginia Vape Co., you definitely got a winner with this stuff. If any of you guys are even curious about Virginia Vape Co., go onto their Instagram page, check these guys out. They got some awesome singular flavors, and I know they're going to be busting out to try and come out with some more FDA pending. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much for sticking it through with Joe Of All Vapes Virginia. If you dug this review, spread the word here at Joe Of All Vapes on YouTube, and definitely check me out on Instagram. Now, I do have some giveaways coming up that are going to be YouTube only. And the only way you're going to be able to get them is if you subscribe to my channel. So you got to be able to subscribe to do that. Check out my Instagram page for some awesome discounts and all of my monthly giveaways that I got going. I have an abundance of them, and just some awesome posts with some great discounts with some good, solid companies, folks. So thank you for sticking it through with me once again. This is Joe of All Vapes, your eye in that vaping sky, wishing you to stay humble. You love yourselves, love each other, and above all, guys, keep it cloudy. Hey everybody, this is Joe of All Vapes. Thank you for watching. For the best in vape reviews, pound that subscribe button and don't forget, vaping saves lives.